Today's review is going to be about a palette that I've been dying to get my hands on. A lot of you really liked my Instagram story when I uploaded this. I was like, you know what? It's time to get back on YouTube and it's time to review this palette. It's time to try it on camera. Recently reviewed the Patrick Ta palette, which is all mattes. This one's Pretty Grunge by Huda Beauty. It has a lot of silver shimmers and a mix of like neutral tones and then a really cool purpley tones. It also has a cream black, which tends to look very grungy and like a greasy black eye, which is really amazing, but I'm not going to use that today. This just looks so good on its own or with like little amount of other products. I kind of want to use the powders. The purple tones are also really cute. I tend to not wear those that much, but I heard the purple tones look really good with brown eyes, so maybe I should do it more. But the shimmers are so good. Most of them are silver. I'm going to do the swatches first. I'm going to swatch them on the back of my hand. So let's start with Liberty. This one's just a matte, pretty peach kind of color. Then I'm going to do Rice Up. That color I love. It's a very soft brown neutral shade. I think it's going to look great as a transition. It's probably going to be the shade that I use the most as a transition. Now I'm going with Hope. Definitely a cool tone dark brown. Love that shade. So now let's go for the second row. Heroine is probably kind of funny name for an eyeshadow, especially when you relate it to the grunge era. Let's see. That's just your typical light shade in a palette. Stand Up is my first shimmer shadow. It's the warmest shimmer on the palette. It's like a taupey silver gold. I really don't know what color this is. Maybe like a dark champagne. I feel like it's like a taupe. It's how I would describe it. So this would look so gorgeous on its own with just a little transition. It's gonna look like a wet eye. I'm gonna go for Love Anarchy. Those are gonna look so good together. And I'm gonna go for one of the most exciting rows on the palette, which is the middle one. It has 3 different types of shimmer. So let's go for Avant Garde. Wow, so pretty. Isn't it gorgeous? That on like an all dark smoky eye is gonna look so gorgeous. It's definitely not as reflective as Stand Up, but it's gonna give a smoky eye lots of dimension. Now I'm gonna go in for that marble kind of shade. When you swatch it, it starts merging together. So compared to the other one, it's definitely more gray silver base. So I'm gonna swatch it here on the bottom. It's like a more cool toned version of this one right here. Now I'm gonna go for Maverick, which seems to be the hero silver shade in the palette. Here's that comparison of the 3. Ooh, it's like a really beautiful silver. It still has some champagne to it. Like it's not a cool toned silver, if you know what I mean, like blue tone. It feels like a warm kind of silver. Definitely the Natasha Denona Xenon palette, I think it is. It's very blue base. This one is giving more warmth to it. So far, this palette looks somewhat warm, but honestly, since I have more of a yellow base undertone, a silver like this would look so good. It looks like worn in silver to me, which looks super gorgeous. So now let's go for this purpley row right here. I'm gonna start off with the black. This one's called Renegade. I'm gonna do it on my other hand. Very basic black. I'm gonna do another layer to it. Now I'm gonna go for Nirvana, which is kind of like the darkest purpley of the palette. Both of these colors are gonna give you that depth. So now I'm gonna go with Rebel, which seems to be like flaky. Oh wow, yes, it's flaky. You could definitely crumble it if you're not careful. Look at that. Oh wow. I see it with some purple in it, a little bit of like a champagne and lots of silver. I don't know if the camera is picking up on all the undertones here, and this is how they compare to the other one. Yeah, it's very similar to Maverick, but it has more purple tones on it. That one is Brave. It looks like terrazzo, called Haphazard. Haphazard. That sounds like half-ass. Oh, it smooshes all together when you use your fingers. You know, with all these glitters, I think using... That's gorge. Wow. So Haphazard just looks velvety. Yeah, it looks like velvet. Freedom is the last one of that row. It's a light matte, perfect for transitioning, I think, for giving some pink to the eye. Now for the last row, Beauty Chaos is definitely more grayer and cooler than Freedom. I'm gonna do Fearless now. And then the last one in the palette, the Grunge shade, which is their cream black shade. It's like a greasy black look. That's gonna look so good on its own for that greasy grunge worn in eye. So these are the swatches. You could definitely tell that this side of the palette is a lot more purple tone, more cool tone than this one, which is more warm. I may have been sold on it for all the silvers. It's called Grunge, so I literally jumped on it. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful palette, so let's play with it. I'm not gonna wear an eye primer because if used incorrectly, eye primers can grip on the shadow and it could skip, it could look patchy. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna powder a little bit over my eyelid to remove any greasiness on the eye. I'm not gonna put concealer on it or correct my eyes because I am a grungy girl at heart and I don't care for that perfect, super clean eye. I like imperfection, and if you've been following me, you know. I'm gonna start off by using this light shade right over here, Heroin. Kind of like my skin tone, so I will use it to color correct. Now I have to decide what kind of eye look I want to do. And I think I'm just gonna go for a smoky eye with black eyeliner on the waterline and just give you grunge. I'm gonna start off by shading the crease. I'm gonna use Rise Up for that. That's the definition we gave it. So my eyes look shaded. I'm also gonna add some of this on the bottom. So for my smoky eyes, what I love to do is just do kind of like a halo effect. I'm gonna grab a smaller kind of brush and I'm gonna add a little bit of Hope to the outer corner of the eye. Kind of just build that up. Now I'm gonna go in the inner corner. See how I'm just shaping that eye right there? I'm just gonna try and connect these a little bit over here. I'm not gonna blend the inner or the outer part too much. I just wanna blend just the crease. I think these have great pigment. This is not like hard to work with. They easily blend. This is my first Huda palette. Yeah, they're pretty easy to work with. I'm just gonna drag it out a little more. I'm gonna grab the brown. I'm gonna drag it on the bottom. I have a feeling that I'm gonna use the crap out of this brown. I'm gonna put some in the inner corner. So this is a very simple, just brown transition. So this is a hard part. I don't know which shimmer to grab. I feel like I should go with Maverick because it's that shimmer that everybody's waiting for. But I feel like I could use Maverick for a New Year's Eve tutorial. So I'm gonna use Avant-Garde. I'm just gonna add it to the inner corner. I'm gonna do it with my finger. Ooh, now you can see it. That looks really dark and really good. I really love this Avant-Garde color. It makes it look less matte. It's not like the most reflective of the palette, but it looks really pretty. And I'm gonna blend again, so we want that to be seamless. I think I'm gonna use a strong AF to it, and I'm gonna leave Maverick and Rebel for a New Year's Eve or holiday makeup. So let's put strong AF in the center of the eye. That looks so good. Cute. So I'm gonna add a little bit of Love Anarchy to go back into the crease and just blend it out a little more. My eyes are asymmetrical. My whole face is asymmetrical, but I'm gonna add a eyeliner to this. I wanna try this Colfi eyeliner. It's retractable, which I don't tend to love on my eyeliners. I don't feel like it's painting as black as I want it to be, but I'm gonna smudge it out as well. I don't know, I'm not too impressed by the eyeliner. I have to try it without any eyeshadows on. I'm just gonna intensify that black using the black powder here. It's the color Renegade. I'm just gonna add a little black to it. And I will grab a little bit of this color right here and just kind of blend out the lower lash. I'm gonna grab a liner brush. I'm gonna grab Hope. Try and extend. And I'm gonna grab a little bit of my concealer, put it on the back of my hand. And honestly, I'm just gonna use a Q-tip with that concealer. I'm just gonna try and clean it out a little bit. Then with a clean blending brush, I'm just gonna blend off everything in the crease. So let's put on some mascara. I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty mascara. I'm gonna retouch my lip a little bit. I'm wearing the Cappuccino lip liner by Rimmel. And for 100 points at Sephora, I got this Lip Power Giorgio Armani. It's like a very light shade, very nudie. It's hydrating, it's not matte. And then for blush, I'm just gonna put on a little bit of Armani. This one, which is the shade 11. It's not super pink, so it's not gonna dull down the grunge look. And with Givenchy, I'm gonna apply some powder. Okay, so how are we feeling about the look? I'm obsessed with the reflection. I'm obsessed with the silver tones. I think it does look rock and roll, but kind of glam. It's like a glam rock and roll vibe. I don't have anything bad to say about this. I love it. It's gonna be my palette all of the holidays. If you love smoky eyes, come and get this. If you love silver, this is for you. Because I will admit that while the Natasha Denona palette looks absolutely stunning, I do think it's a little too blue for me, for my personal taste. I think this is more wearable and it will suit a lot more people. I want to do holiday glam with this, and I also want to use more of the purple tones in the palette just for you, just for YouTube. I think it's stunning. I absolutely love it. I think it's a great price for all the colors that it brings. All palettes are costing that much money. So for example, the Patrick Ta has less colors and is also $70. This one's $69, but you get a lot of shades. Thank you so much for watching. If you really enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.